Hi, and welcome to this month's edition of Chamber Chat TV. I'm Danielle McFadden, President of the Chamber, joined by
Emma Brooks, Director of Member and Community Relations.
We're so excited to have Jim Conley here from Weston Nurseries because it's springtime.
It is.
Finally.
Yes, and the winter was a harsh one. We had a period where there was no snow. It was warm, and then we got some snow in March that really kind of hurt some things. In fact, some local orchards are concerned because the peaches started to flower when we had that warm spell about 3 weeks ago. The buds were swelling, and then it got cold. I heard some of them were putting out large buckets of heat firewood just to kind of keep the ground warm or the area warm for the cold nights. So we'll see what happens this year if people have fruit trees in their yards, whether the apples or the pears or the peaches got hurt by the weather.
Amazing.
So, yeah.
And I think the moral of the story is don't get cocky, New Englanders, if you get through January without a lot of snow, because it can still come and get you.
Yeah, we had a really interesting year last year, and so, we're just looking forward to another successful spring.
So prior to this, we kind of talked a little bit about that, but plants starting to grow because it was so warm out.
Yeah, so with the warm weather, people started seeing bulbs growing, trees were starting to swell up a little bit, and then it got really cold. So I think the bulbs will be okay because the snow came and insulated it. As long as the cold weather didn't do any damage before the snow hit on, or if the snow melted and then it got cold and then the snow came again. So, but they're resilient, so I think the bulbs will be fine. And the lawns really didn't wake up, so you don't have to really worry too much about that. And then the trees, there's really nothing you can do. There's a lot of storm damage I saw from the winds that we had, so you're going to have to go around and do some pruning and cutting off some of the dead branches. So, but that's pretty much it, really, to speak of.
Now, last year we had a very dry summer, and my lawn looked awful and dead before the winter time.
Yeah.
What should I do this spring?
Well, this spring it's going to be hard to see what came through the winter and what's good and what's not. As soon as we've got 3 weeks of warm weather, the lawns should start to come back.
Yep.
So I would say by the middle to end of May, you certainly can look at your lawn and say, okay, this is alive, this is not alive, and then make the choice of whether you want to seed it or fertilize it. Water is really what the lawns needed in the fall, and we didn't even have it in September and October. So we've had a lot of rain, we've had a lot of snow. We're still down for the year from last year, but we still.
Really?
Yeah, because we were down so much.
Yeah.
But we're still doing good. I mean, there's a lot of rain that came this year through the winter. There's a lot of snow that's going to be melting. I think most lawns will come back looking good. But really what it is not what about them coming back and you can reseed them and fertilize them. What are you going to do next year before the drought? And I brought with me a product that we supply called Hydrotain. And it's new to the retail market. It's been around because golf courses use something similar to this. Where when you're putting the ball, the grass is so low, that dries out and it burns. So they spray this on that, and it keeps the moisture around the roots, and it allows the plants from surviving in dry periods. So this is something you can put on vegetable gardens and flowers, shrubs, trees, lawns. And what it does is, in the morning when you wake up, you see the morning dew on your lawn. You're like, oh, that's cool, so there's moisture in the air. Well, this pulls those molecules into the soil and binds them to the roots of the grass, so that way, when even there's no rain, there's still moisture in the air can be brought into the ground, and you'll still get water absorption around the roots, and then the lawn won't dry out as quickly, or it still will survive even in drier periods. So this is something that you should think about doing. It's got to be applied about once every 6 weeks, and if you do that 3 times through the year, you're certainly going to see your lawn not suffering as much next year.
Yeah, that's not bad.
No, I used it on my vegetable garden just to try it out, and I didn't have to water my vegetable garden more than once a week.
Really?
Yeah, even in the hot sun, because what happened was it was pulling in the moisture every morning into the soil around the tomatoes and the peppers and all that. So yeah, definitely try it. It's a huge difference. It's called Hydrotain. And it's also available in a granular form, so if you have a spreader, you can put it on your lawn and water it in too.
Interesting.
But this is great because you just hook up the hose and it just sprays out, so you don't have to do anything. So.
I know, now that you're going to be doing
a
garden.
I know, I'm trying a garden this year. I told my daughter, she's so excited.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so and it says reduces the watering up to 50%, so that means you don't have to water your lawn as much,
Perfect.
Cool. Great. So last year I had a little green inchworm in my maple tree. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure, that's called a winter moth.
He's cute, but I don't want him in my tree.
And actually the winter moth is going to start waking up now, and it hatches from the egg and it crawls into the bud of the leaf. So the bud is still hasn't opened up all the way, but opened up enough where it's in there, and it's feeding on the inside of the leaf. So that's why when spring comes, the leaves open up, and there's holes that are tethered.
Oh yeah.
That's
yeah.
from that inchworm. And the winter moth will last right up until June. And what happens is after the leaves open up, they create a little silken thread, and they blow in the wind from the food source that they were in to a new food source. It might be your neighbor's yard, or it might be the neighbors blowing them from their yard to your yard, or it could be them landing on your blueberries or whatever. So you have to reapply the spray. This is a product that's a bacteria. This is pretty interesting. It's called Captain Jack's Dead Bugs Brew, and it has the chemical name spinosad, and it was found in a rum distillery in the Caribbean.
That's why it's Captain Jack.
Exactly. And what happened was it was growing. It was a bacteria growing from the rum distillery, and they found that bacteria killed caterpillars. So it's an organic product. It's safe to use. You could spray it on anything, and it gets into the worm, the caterpillar, and kills it from the inside. It's kind of gross, obviously, but it's safe for you, and it lasts about 14 days, 15 days. So you spray it now.
Yep.
You spray it again another a month or so. You probably spray it a third time, and that way you can kind of kill them or nip it in the bud, as they say.
Clever. I like it.
You do. So this is good also for gypsy moths, and the gypsy moths were a problem last year, and we're going to see them coming around. They actually happen after. So by the time we're all done with this winter moth thing, all of a sudden we're going to start to see the gypsy moths feeding. So we're going to have a lot of problems this year because the drought last year stressed out trees so much, and the insects were so active. You'll see more problems this year. So
keep that going all summer.
yeah, and
probably.
anytime you see a plant that you have in your yard, like the garden that you're going to be growing this year, and you're not sure, bring pictures into the garden
Great.
center, and we can help you out and give you the right product. Because if you don't spray, you say, don't worry about it, you're going to lose the crop of vegetables, or you're not going to have a healthy plant. And going back to that question about the storm damage that we saw, a lot of people don't realize it, but if they're not keeping their trees healthy, as soon as we have that snowstorm with the wind, the trees that are weakened are the ones that are going to break. That's not good. So if you have if you have a big tree next to your house and you say, I can't spray it, I'm not going to pay to spray it. Well, it chews all the leaves, and then the tree 2 years later has some dead branches, and those big branches fall down when we have a mini hurricane or a nor'easter. You don't want that falling through your house or through your car or through your family.
Or on anything on your neighbor's property.
Exactly, exactly.
So that just goes right on the leaves, and that's
Right on
that?
the leaves, exactly. Yep. Or you can spray it on
Nice.
the trunk too, as well. So yeah.
So what are some of the new trends for gardening that you're seeing this year?
So a lot of people are concerned about water conservation. So the Hydrotain I mentioned would be something. Another thing is the Tree Gator bags are a great device that came out to help when you're watering trees. You zip it up along. There's some big holes in the top of it. You pour the water in. There's very small holes on the bottom of it, and it trickles out. So if you can't get a hose to a tree, but you want to plant a tree in your yard, this is a
interesting.
great
That's
device to
great.
water. So a lot of people are looking at water conservation. How can I plant plants and not have to maintain them? So there's a lot of different products that are available that have come out over the years to help make your life easier. We have designed ours, and we can give you some ideas of right plants that are drought tolerant, so that you can plant some things that you don't have to baby them and water them all the time. Even with your vegetable garden, adding a lot of organic matter and compost into the soil will help hold water, so you don't have to water your garden as much too. So there's all these different trends with that. Edibles are huge. Everybody wants to have a vegetable garden, whether it's in a window box or a container on the deck. It's funny, there's a vegetable came out a couple of years ago. It's called tomato and ketchup. And what it is they've grafted, that means they attach two trees or two plants together. They attached a potato in the bottom, and they grafted a tomato on top. And so it's in a pot, maybe about the size of this table, but about this tall. So during the summer, the top part is going to have tomatoes, little cherry type tomatoes, and you can pick and eat them. And then in the fall, you cut the tomato off, and then you dump the soil out, and all these potatoes are growing.
That's awesome.
That's so cool.
So it's called tomato and ketchup. So so there's a lot of new varieties of plants that have come out to garden. We sell the little seeds. The Botanical Interest is the seed company, and they've got some cool seeds. There's beets and carrots that come in different colors. You think of orange, for the carrots, but there's, purple beets, purple carrots, I'm sorry, and white carrots. And then there's also beets that have yellow and orange and red and so forth. So if you want to have, a salad with different colors in it to kind of excite when you have a party, you could have different types of plants. Kale is huge, growing kale for your, for what the kale offers and stuff like that. So that's good. And then the other thing that's huge is just getting out and being with the family out in the garden. So like butterfly gardens are huge, and pollinators are huge because of the bees. And there's a lot of press that said we're losing bees. So plant more plants that attract pollinators in your yard. Flowers, vegetables obviously, but flowers, flower gardens, things of that sort. So that way you can get more bees in your yard and more pollinators like butterflies and hummingbirds and stuff like that.
So for somebody who's never really tried to plant anything ever, am I better off getting seeds from my vegetable garden or seedlings?
So some seeds you plant directly in the garden,
Yep.
like vegetables like peas and beans, you actually want to plant them right in the soil. Whereas other plants like tomatoes and peppers, you'd actually want to either start them as seeds indoors now,
Yep.
and then when they get bigger, plant them outside, or come to the garden center and we've already done the planting for you, and you just
I think
have
I
to.
might go that route. I think for the first time, that's probably better.
So but there might be some seeds that you can't get in already grown packs.
Okay.
So you might walk into the garden center and you say, "Oh, geez, that's interesting." I want to get wax beans, which are really easy.
Yep.
And you might get green beans, which are really easy. You can just plant those right in the garden directly. So
Perfect.
at the same time.
Sounds good to me. When can I
Yeah.
start planting my vegetable garden?
Well, cool weather crops are plants that can take cool temperatures at night. 40 degrees is fine. 20s and 30s is not. So
Yep.
peas you could actually plant now. Usually around St. Patrick's Day is when you plant peas. But of course, if you have snow in your ground, you can't plant them. But you could plant peas right now.
Yep.
And then all your cool weather crops are like lettuce and kale and broccoli, carrots, beets. Those could go in the ground now, as long as we don't have these 20 degrees at night. So let's
Okay.
say next week, because it's supposed to warm up this week.
Yep.
I would say you could be able to plant late March, early April, some of
Yay.
these things. So yeah.
And when can I start reaping the benefits?
4 to 6 weeks on some of
not
them.
bad.
Some things are 6 to 8. It depends on what it is. Yeah. So. Yeah.
And with this, I only have to water it every week, once a week?
Yeah,
about?
once a week or twice a week, depending upon how dry it is. Yeah, certainly. Yeah.
You're making it too easy.
Well, we're trying to, so that way you can have fun.
Absolutely.
Because you're busy. You've got your,
Yep.
your child going in different directions,
Yep.
so you want to make it so that you can enjoy the garden, but also be able to enjoy your life at the same time.
So we only have 2 minutes left. I want to make sure you can tell everybody where Weston Nursery is, your
Sure.
contact information, and then anything else you want them to know about
So
Weston
Weston
Nurseries.
Nurseries is in Chelmsford, right on Pine Hill Road, 160 Pine Hill Road, which is right off of Hunt Road. In Chelmsford, they're redoing that bridge over 495, so that's kind of where it is. We're open 7 days a week. Right now it's 9 to 5, but in the spring it'll be 8 to 6. Our phone number there is 978-349-0055. And you can go on our website, www.westonnurseries.com. We have a lot of events, workshops that we do during the spring. We have the fully stocked garden center, and our main operation is in Hopkinton. There's it's a 94-year-old company, so it's a 4th generation, and so there's product down there. We can have it shipped up if you want a big tree or something. So we do that. We have a design service. We have delivery service. We have stone and plants, the whole gamut that a garden center needs, and we have the expert too.
It's so true, and we've had several events at your place. We love going there. If you go there, expect to spend some time there. So don't
Yes.
just go to pop in.
And a lot of people go and just walk around sometimes. They don't
Yeah.
even buy anything, just to kind of smell the flowers and stuff like that, so, which is good.
Thank you so much for joining us.
No problem. Thanks for
We always
inviting me.
loved it. This
Appreciate
is such
it.
a great conversation.
I know.
I can't wait for spring.
And it's perfect timing with today being the first day of spring.
Exactly.
Yes, so.
Yes. So we look forward. The phone should be ringing off the hook when I get back.
It will
Yes.
be.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll be back. You're watching Chamber Chat TV.
In the small town of Elmira, New York, a boy was born into an all-American family. The odds of him achieving his dream in the fashion industry? 1 in 23 million. The odds of having a child diagnosed with autism? 1 in 68. I am Tommy Hilfiger, and my family is affected by autism. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs.
Hi, and welcome back to Chamber Chat TV. I'm Danielle McFadden, president of the Chamber, joined by...
Emma Brooks, Director of Member and Community Relations.
We're very excited to have the guys here from the Northeast Independent Living Program, NILP.
That's right.
That's right, Danielle.
We have Kevin Farrell, who's in New Business Development, and Mark Whaler, who is the Director of Marketing and Communication.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Danielle. And Emma, it's wonderful to be here today.
Always
Great
a
to have you
pleasure.
guys.
Howdy,
If
yeah.
people could have heard our conversation off air.
Yeah. Well, that's true. That would have been interesting. Some of it probably wouldn't have been broadcast. But anyhow, no, I'm just kidding.
Okay, but enough about that. Let's talk
Yes.
about NILP and your
Okay.
mission.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, NILP, which is the Northeast Independent Living Program, we've been in existence, we're in our 37th year now.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
And what we do basically is we provide advocacy and services to all people with disabilities, and we are truly a cross-disability organization. And people who hear of us and so forth know we're not a place to go live where people reside and everything. We do provide advocacy and services to all people who need it, who have a disability. You know, people with disabilities are the largest minority group in the world. And I think chances are pretty good that either you know somebody who has a disability or have a family member or loved one who does have a disability. So we are there to serve 52 cities and towns in Northeast Massachusetts, all the Merrimack Valley and beyond. We're one of 11 independent living centers in Massachusetts. In fact, we're one of hundreds across the United States.
52 towns. That's amazing.
That's a very large area to serve.
We've grown.
We've grown. We've actually expanded in the last couple of years, especially. I thought I'd mention, too, although we're based in Lawrence, we have opened up in the past year and a half to 2 years 5 hub locations. They're right here in Lowell. And also we do have Lawrence, we have Methuen, and Lynn, and Salem.
Great.
So
awesome.
it's all to localize the needs of the people who need it, who we need to
Definitely.
serve.
Yeah.
Now, can you tell us about your upcoming fundraiser, your 14th annual golf tournament?
Absolutely. Well, before I mention that, I just want to also mention there's another fundraiser we have coming up before that. It's our annual music event that's put on by our board of directors. It's Friday, April 7th at the Lawrence Elks, 652 Andover Street in Lawrence, and the group that's performing is the B Street Bombers. They're very well known, particularly in the Merrimack Valley, and it's a dinner buffet, cash bar, dancing, and more for $50 a person. There are still some tickets left, and you can contact NILP if you are interested in purchasing tickets.
Will you be dancing?
Well, but that remains to be seen, possibly.
He has danced before, I can vouch
Yes, I
for
have.
That should be one of the auction items.
And I'll throw in for
Hey, you know, that's
last-
a
the
great
last
that's the
idea.
dance with Kevin
Yes,
Farrell.
the last
Kevin.
dance.
Yeah. Well, oh, you know, maybe I get the two of you, and we'll do the same thing. Dance with Danielle, dance with Emma.
People wouldn't want to dance with me. That's not my forte.
Okay. All right.
I will just throw in that the B Street Bombers, they're popular. They've been around since the 70s, and it's a 10-piece band. They do a lot of funk and rock and all kinds of music. Very exciting, high-energy band. So
Great.
Yeah. And that includes a dinner, and so I mean it's a great night out if you're looking for
Yeah.
something to do. And that's Friday, April 7th, at the Elks Lodge in Andover. Lots of parking. It's it's a beautiful location, and it's a good night out for someone who's looking for $100. You get to have a night out. That's pretty reasonable when you
Yeah.
consider what
Definitely.
things cost today. I mean, you know.
And if I may too, I'll just say it's all for a great cause too.
Absolutely.
It all goes, all proceeds go to the NILP Independence Fund to serve all people with disabilities in the communities that we serve. We do receive some state and federal funds too, but these fundraising events that we do really help us reach that many more people who need
Yeah.
help severely in the community. So it's all for a great cause. I want to throw that in.
And it allows you to use that money where you need to as well,
Where-
right? There's no
where it can be.
restrictions on that money. which is
Exactly,
really important.
exactly. And what I wanted to mention as well, all our services that we do, they are all free too for all consumers that we serve. So
Right.
So
That's
yeah,
amazing.
that costs money.
Right, and
Yes,
a lot of it
indeed
is
it does.
information is probably one of the most critical things that we give, because just like if you were going to buy a new car or refrigerator, you're going to do some research on
Yep.
it. Unfortunately, a lot of people who become disabled, particularly in later life, they haven't had the chance to do any research. So organizations like ours and similar organizations are vital for them to be able to relearn how to live again, because that's
Absolutely.
really a good piece of that. Another way that we will raise funds is our annual golf tournament. This is the 14th.
This is your baby, right?
Well,
You've
not
been, what,
anymore.
around for
I'm
like
not
12 of them?
Yeah, I started with the second one in 2005, right? And it's a good fundraiser. It's a great fun time. We're very fortunate that for several years we've had Herb Chambers, Dodge from a Dodge Ram and Jeep from Danvers. They have sponsored the hole-in-one contest, and they offer a brand new Jeep if you get a hole-in-one. Now, it is possible, and of course, the more years that we actually don't have a winner, the odds and the laws of chance work in your favor. So
There we
that,
go.
if nothing else, should be an attraction. It's $165 to play. It includes breakfast, lunch, all your greens fees, and participation in the hole-in-one contest. It's at the Merrimack Valley Golf Club, which is in
beautiful.
Methuen.
Great spot.
Exit 3 off of Route 213, the Howe Street exit, and you go up a little ways, there it is. About four to 5 years ago, the entire golf course was totally rebuilt. It's a Donald Ross course, goes back a number of years, but it's been totally rebuilt, brand new clubhouse, and the food is out of sight. So, and the people running it do a wonderful job.
Yeah.
So,
This is our third year in a row there, and again, as Kevin just stated, wonderful people and
Yeah.
an absolutely beautiful course too. And all the golfers who have participated just rave about it. So
That's great.
they love to come back for this.
yeah, and of course, there's different ways people can
Yeah.
support us. I mean, they can, for $165, they can play. And to all my people in the banking and financial services industry, this is a great way. I'll give you 3 other people, and you've got them for 6 hours, because when you start talking about stuff like that, people tune you out in 10 seconds. So it's a great opportunity, particularly for people in banking and insurance. Come and play golf, and you might get a client. The other thing is, of course, that we do look for sponsors, and a number of local firms from the Lowell area. For example, United Parcel is already on board. Enterprise Bank. In terms of Element Care, Elder Services, the Merrimack Valley, Pinnacle Private Wealth in Woburn, and Pro Tire and Tune in nearby Bill Ricker are already signed on as sponsors. We've got lots of room for more sponsors. It's a chance to showcase your business, help a good cause, maybe even come and play golf, and and work the tournament. So, we encourage people in business to consider this. It's June 9th. It's enough advance. It's a Friday, which is very unusual.
that's really
Most
nice.
of these are on a Monday.
And you're halfway to the beach.
Yeah, Friday, and it's all
putting it
through
out
about
there.
1. You go right up 213, 495, and you're in the beach, and probably a half an hour afterwards. So that's a great. I'll remember. That's
There
a
you
great
know.
line.
I like the beach, so.
Oh, absolutely.
And then if you're a sponsor, you're on a huge poster that ends up in an ALP for a year, right?
She even knows the drill. You've heard this so many
364
times.
days a year.
Yes.
Every time people walk in, they say, "It's my name on there. Why is it not on there? My competition's name is on
And
there."
that's 100% true. That's exactly what happens. And it's
I told you I know.
Yes,
I know
indeed.
it's
You.
real.
Oh my goodness. Yes. You.
and it's on the website, and there are on the literature that's handed out to the golfers. And it's a chance also for a lot of the businesses in the areas we service. They're very, very community orientated. And we really, I just have to say that, some of these sponsors I mentioned have been sponsoring for over 10 years, every year. They're always there for us. And there's a lot of new ones that keep coming in. So I really encourage people to consider this.
Probably the sponsors that have been doing it for 10 years, it's something that they look forward to every year.
Oh, absolutely. Some of them have an absolute blast. They tell me they really look forward to it. And new this year, we do have an auction occasionally. Like this year, we'll have Red Sox tickets. But we just picked up 4 tickets to Walt Disney World.
Wow, that's amazing.
That's an over $600 value.
Yeah.
That's going to be on the auction. So, and for those of you that hear that, gee, I'd love to be able to bid on that. You don't have to be a golfer. For $50, you can come and have lunch with us. You can participate in the raffle and the auction and bid on the Walt Disney or the Red Sox tickets or whatever else we come up with, which,
Right.
trust me, it'll be a lot
Right.
by the time of the event.
Yes.
But
It's
I
worth it
just
for
had
the
to
view
mention
too.
that.
The
Yeah.
view where
Oh.
you eat is just stunning.
Yeah, and the people running the place, the caterer does a wonderful job. They do a
Great.
wonderful job. So it's, we're looking forward to it. And I guarantee one thing: I can make a promise: it won't snow. Because who knows?
I know. I wouldn't put an 100% guarantee on
Maybe-
anything.
I don't know
No.
about that, but
Well, I
it's
remember-
a
We're
pretty
all-
safe bet. I
remember in
think.
1976, it snowed. I had just moved to this area. It snowed on May 6th, like 15, 20 inches of snow, and all the
No.
trees,
Oh my God.
all the
Wow.
maple trees had leafed out. Branches were broken, trees were toppled. Oh yeah,
And people were still in bed from Cinco de Mayo.
yeah.
They,
Probably
they went to bed praying for a snow day, and they got it.
Oh, yes.
Right. Yeah, they got a snow day, all right. Yeah, that was the only time that's ever happened. And that's, there's things like that happen. But I can guarantee June 9th there won't be any snow.
So you're looking for auction items as well.
Absolutely, and for people that have specifically services that are of considerable value, or if you have an account like you have Red Sox tickets that you occasionally give to your customers, if you wouldn't mind donating a pair for to NILP, we'd love to auction them off and give your business some some advertising and some notice. So. And there's other types of things too that we've had. I mean, it's really encouraging how creative some people in business can be, and they'll call up and say, "I have got this," and "Oh yeah, wow, that's great." So I mean, think about it. That's another option.
And even if you're a viewer and you're not necessarily in business, you can still donate an item. Gift baskets are always a good
Yeah, gift
item.
baskets, or you can just make a donation. That's certainly an option. Some people will just donate to help make the tournament a success, whether it's a $50, $100, $10, whatever. You send it to NILP. It's 20 Ballard Road, Lawrence, Massachusetts, 01843. Or you can go to our website, www.nilp.org, and look for the PayPal icon. You don't even have to be a member of PayPal. You can use your debit or your credit card and send us funds. So, we really appreciate it. And then you might say, gee, I donated these people. I have a couple of questions. Feel free to use our number, 978-687-4288, and people on the other end will be more than willing to answer whatever questions you have, because many of the people in the viewing audience have a member of their family or a person with a disability. As people age, things change, conditions change. Feel free to give us a call. We know we'd love to give you information about how you can maximize somebody's living potential.
Yeah,
You can
you're
really
right.
help us serve all the consumers that we
Right.
do serve. We are a 501c3 nonprofit organization too. Just wanted to make that clear to everybody out there as well.
So we only have a little over a minute left. So your contact information and again the dates on these two great
Right.
events that you have coming up.
Well, the dates are the music event is April 7th, which is a Friday, at the Elks. It's the B Street Bombers. Includes dinner, buffet, cash bar, and dancing.
With Kevin.
Yeah, there you go.
With
Okay,
Kevin,
with Kevin.
it's,
There you go. And it's $50 a person. It's a great night out. Maybe 2 or 3 couples want to all get together. If you have enough people, we'll give you a table. And enjoy yourself. And it's it's the exit 45, River Road exit off of I-93, into a very nice, large parking lot with plenty of parking,
Perfect.
well lit, and it's a great facility. The other, that's April 7th. The B Street Bombers be there. And it's Friday, June 9th. The Merrimack Valley Golf Club, 210 Howe Street, which is the Howe Street exit off of Route 213. 7 o'clock registration and breakfast, shotgun at 8, and then includes lunch and a chance to win a new car and the hole-in-one. And there's going to be putting contests and other types of contests that you can also purchase at the day of the registration. So we hope that you can come. All that for $165. And remember, sponsorships are solicited, and we hope that we'll hear from you.
We appreciate that. All that information that Kevin just went over and about our organization, again, we encourage you to visit nilp.org. And you can find out a lot of information about our programs and services, and also a nice About Us type video, what we do, what we're all about.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you for all that
Thank
you
you.
do.
Thank you.
Amazing program.
And I just have to say one quick thing. We appreciate being a longtime member of the Greater Lowell Chamber.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Where everyone gets it, right?
Yes, everybody gets it. Thank you both.
Thank you.
We're going to take a quick break and we'll be back.
Hi, may I please have an application? Thank you.
Skip the drama. Get your GED.
Okay.
Take that first step towards a better future and sign up for free classes now at yourged.org.
Hi, we're back with the final segment of Chamber Chat TV. I'm Danielle McFadden, President of the Chamber, joined by...
Emma Brooks, Director of Member and Community Relations.
We're so excited to have LZ Nunn here. She's the Executive Director of Project Learn.
Yes. And yes, the Lowell Loves to Learn little logo. Yep.
And Lowell does love to learn, for
Yes.
sure. So can you tell the viewers about Project Learn? What is it?
Sure. Well, Project Learn is essentially Lowell's education foundation. We are basically founded in 2013 to really generate new partnerships and learning opportunities and grant funds to secure so that every single child, we have over 14,000 in the Lowell Public
Amazing.
Schools, has great access to programs so that they can succeed. And you know, in the last 3 years, we've raised just over $7 million.
Oh my gosh.
For
Amazing.
yeah, it's really a testament to how needed the work was, really, and it's really to support well-designed programs and with partners. You know, some examples include things you've probably heard of, like our Farm to Schools program,
Yes.
are now in every single middle school, as well as some elementary and high schools. Also, we fund Idea Camp, which is a really cool hands-on summer learning program, which we'll talk about in a bit. But also the Career Academy is Lowell's alternative high school, and they've really recently launched a whole partnership initiative engaging the whole Lower Highlands community. It's the old Malloy School.
Yeah.
And with that, they've included a lot of hands-on learning for students, as well as summer internships and programs with partnering with CTI and Youth Build and Lowell Community Health Center and Middlesex Community College, so that students can get college credit. So really innovative approaches to how we can provide these kind of interesting opportunities for our students.
Every time I hear about these things, I think, I wish I was younger. You know,
I know,
You
right?
hear about these programs and then you like go to UMass Lowell and you're like, why can't I go back?
No.
Do over.
Yeah, exactly. Roll back time. Like, why isn't that possible?
There are so many great programs, though, and I'm like, I wish I could have taken advantage of all of this. But so, can you tell us, why does the Lowell Public School System need Project Learn?
It's a really good question, Emma. So, you know, private schools or some parochial schools, and certainly some of our suburban districts, they have more access to resources. Either they're funded at just a different kind of a profile, and in Lowell we're a huge district. We're one of the largest in the state. So it's, you know, like I said, 14,000 kids across 24 schools. And so what that means is we need to work extra hard to make sure that our students are getting access to all of the different types of programs that will inspire them and help them learn. Some students will learn best through arts programs, others through science or technology or engineering. And we need to make sure that our students have well-rounded opportunities, as well as provide those kind of targeted state, federal, or local grants that can give access to teacher training. You know, so we recently got a grant in the last few years so that our math and science teachers for 5th through 8th grade could get special hands-on learning. And what we see is results. So our students are really performing at much higher levels in the 5th and 8th grade for math than they were just a few years ago. So that's why we need sort of that extra jolt, and I think that's what Project Learn and organizations like us can provide. So we're kind of a one of a kind, and some folks, we've had contacts from other gateway cities saying, oh, how did you establish Project Learn? You know, can we do that in our community? And essentially it really is a replicable model, but it does take a lot of business partners and local philanthropists who've really decided that they are passionate about education and making it work.
And Lowell's so diverse, I'm sure there was grants and funding out there, and they just needed somebody to reach for it and apply.
That's right. That's a great point, Danielle. I mean, that's the thing. Lowell has a Lowell story. You know, we are a city of immigrants, of diversity, of canals, and the story of Lowell's Mills. You know, we have this incredible infrastructure in the city, and also a great history of partnerships, people working together. You know, you get to work on that every day at the Chamber.
Yeah.
And we get to do that with education as well, is how do we bring together those existing partnerships, but help amplify the results to have a better impact on our kids.
And I think everybody in the business community wants to help. They just don't know how.
That's
and
right.
that's great that you're that bridge that can kind of show them and teach them.
Exactly. That's a good way of putting it.
So Project Learn works on signature programs for the schools. Can you talk about some of those, and are there any things coming up in the spring that the folks should know about?
Yes, we definitely have some fun events and activities coming up this spring. So April marks a lot of things. Of course, it's Cambodian New Year, as people know, but it's also in late April is the Week of the Young Child. And so last year, we started working more and more with the Lowell Early Childhood Advisory Council. It's called LECAC. Which is sort of the Lowell Public Schools are a member, but there's about 30 organizations in the city and the greater community that focus on early childhood education. So we worked together and we said, what can we design to help bring programs and more learning and opportunities to give kids books who need it most. So we designed a program called the Lowell Loves to Learn Book Nook Project, and we're going to be launching our first Book Nooks. I'm going to sort of show. I don't know which camera I should show this to, but this is a really cute. So this is red bookshelf is what a book nook looks like. We actually have a smaller version and a larger version, and these are going to be in local businesses, cafes, local organizations, community organizations, and they're going to basically bring thousands of books to our kids each year. So we're hoping to circulate about 10,000 books in the next year. And we have so many partners have volunteered to do book drives. Lowell General got 1,500, almost 2,000 books for us. Hypertext books, Lowell Women's Week, Enterprise Bank. So many different organizations have offered to, pitch in, store books, or donate their time and energy. So we have a couple key events. The Cambodian Mutual Assistance Association is having their Cambodian New Year event on April 22nd. It's a Saturday. So they'll be launching their Book Nook at that time.
Great.
Awesome.
And then also the Acre Cleanup Day with Coalition for a Better Acre. They're launching their Book Nook on their Acre Cleanup.
Excellent.
Yeah, and that will also coincide just between those two dates is the Week of the Young Child with all sorts of family friendly activities. So if you have young kids, definitely look out for that. You can look on our webpage, www.projectlearninc.org, or just Google, Week of the Young Child events in Lowell.
What kind of books are you looking for?
Great question. We're really particularly targeting kids who are 0 to 8 years old. So we're trying to improve kindergarten readiness and also third grade reading levels. And so to do that, we really want to help get books to our earliest readers. So it can be board books all the way through Harry Potter and everything in between.
And it's a bonding experience for parents. The first thing my daughter said to me after saying good morning was, "You know what, Mom? I love when we read together." It was like the cutest thing, and I'm like, well, I love it too. But you don't realize the impact you're making on them, and then they come up with something like that out of the blue.
I know it's really fun. Or when you get home and your kid's like, Mama, can you read to me now? Let's read this book. They really start to get inspired, and even if sometimes kids start to read in their own time frame, just having that access to books and even books from different languages. If people have books in Spanish or Khmer or Portuguese, we're also taking those multilingual books too.
That's excellent. So if you're watching and you want to drop books off, you can always drop books off at the Chamber at any point, and we'll get them over to Elsie.
Thank you so much.
Of course.
And I have to say, there's this other really cool program on the other side of the spectrum with the Clean Energy program we're doing at Lowell High School. So Mass Clean Energy Center funded this project for a cohort of 20 students at Lowell High to go through a 3-semester course. The first semester is job readiness, workplace readiness, resume building, career. Second semester is hands-on learning around clean energy, what solar panel installation is like, also weatherization training. UMass Lowell professors are coming over to teach workshops and classes. And then Middlesex Community College is getting dual enrollment credits for these students. And then in the summer, they're going to have paid internships. So that's a really special project, and we're excited that we've just kicked off this new clean energy pathway. So, and our maker spaces over at the high school and at the Bartlett School are really fascinating things for parents to check out.
Absolutely, and I love that you said pathways. They had to choose pathways in high school now.
Yeah, right.
I went to college and was like, what should I do?
Yeah, like.
And when I got out of college, what should I do? So really cool opportunity.
It's so true, and I think what we're finding is students who do have that chance to kind of figure out, maybe the area that they want to study, it helps connect them to, their whole peer networks.
Absolutely.
And all that fun stuff.
And if they find out maybe that's not what I want to do, at least I don't spend 4 years in college getting a degree, and then, it's just such a great discovery period for them.
I know, it really is. It's really powerful, so.
Now, if members from the community want to get involved and help out with any of these great programs, how can they do that?
Well, reach out. You can email me, lznunn@projectlearninc.org. But some great ways to get involved are simple things, like if you want to host a book nook or host a book drive. We're looking for businesses in the neighborhoods particularly who do want to host book nooks. We also are looking for folks to volunteer at events. They can volunteer to, sort books or just come to events and activities. We're also looking for alumni to come and get involved, whether you want to be a mentor to a middle school or high school student or be a volunteer tutor, something like that. That's another way to get involved. And, a simple donation like $50 to the Book Nook program brings books to over 20 kids.
Wow,
So,
that's amazing.
Yeah,
Very
yeah.
cool.
And it's not often more than one, so. Yeah.
So if somebody who's going through their books at their home, you're looking for new books, but if somebody has a book that's like new, you'll take those too.
Absolutely, yeah. It can be new and gently used is what we say.
Yeah.
And you can drop them off, at, obviously at the chamber,
Yep.
or Hypertext Books is also hosting like a
excellent.
little bin.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
Really nice.
it is really great. And I think we're even going to have, some recommended things that if people are buying a book and they want to buy an extra, they're welcome to do that.
Great.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So summer's around the corner.
It is.
Yay.
It
Any
is.
summer learning opportunities that you can share with the viewers?
Definitely. Well, there are always many, and we have a lot of great community partners, Boys and Girls Club and Girls Inc. and YMCA. They all have great summer programs, but one of my particular favorites is this one called Idea Camp, and it's a STEAM, so it's science, technology, engineering, arts, and math, a STEAM-based program. And really, kids get to learn everything from how to build their dream house using 3D Architect Studio software, and also like literally a mock-up with prototype materials.
I know.
And this one is actually their sea perch. The kids are building like underwater robots, and then they get to test them out. There's one called Carnival Contraptions. They have crime science with Middlesex Community College. So really dynamic and interesting programs. And actually there's a new one added, You Code Girl, which is a really fun one. And we're also seeking some funding to do another new one with the Rogers STEM Academy to have those students build a kinetic sculpture and be in the kinetic sculpture race.
Oh, that's really
Wouldn't that be
fun.
great?
Yeah.
So, yeah. So this is a really powerful program. Over 200 students a year participate, and there are scholarships available, need-based scholarships, but it's just, we'd love for 300 or 400 students to take part in this. So, and it happens at the Butler Middle School, and also there are some other locations.
Excellent.
Yeah.
If people want to find out more information about Project Learn, some of these great programs that you've talked about, how can they do so?
Sure. Well, you can go to our website, www.projectlearninc.org, or you can give us a call, 978-726-5329, and we'd love to share more information.
And be on the lookout for the book nooks.
And
that are
be
coming
on
up.
the lookout for the book next this spring. So
Excellent.
more to come on that for sure.
Great. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Yes, thank you. And thank you all for watching this month. We're so excited that the sun is out, that it is springtime, finally. If you want more information about the Chamber, our website is greaterlowellchamber.org. All of our information is on there, everything you're looking for.
Yes.
So thank you so much, and we'll see you again next month.